Let's begin.
Here we go! Hi, everybody!
Start the insanity.
You are not worried, are you?
Me? No.
Well, we're waiting.
Hello, welcome to Super Media All-Stars. We are a weekly podcast, and today we are talking about video games. I am your host, John Harris, and I am joined by three other All-Stars. First one being Brent Harris.
That sentence had too many syllables. Apologize!
Jesse Geske.
What? You have both?
And Andy Guild.
I have a question for you instead. Okay, so during the intro, there's that really creepy voice that says, "Well, we're waiting."
Yeah.
Is that Anthony?
No, that's actually from,
Groundhog Day.
No.
Oh, Caddyshack.
No.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
from the Adam Sandler movie.
No,
where
it's from Caddyshack.
No, it's from Adam Sandler where he's a golfer.
Oh, Happy Gilmore?
Yes, that's it.
Is that Adam Sandler or Anthony?
No, it's some old man in the
I
audience.
think it's Caddyshack. I'm almost positive it's Caddyshack.
I don't think
It's
so.
the old guy in the crowd. He's like, well, we're waiting.
Oh, okay.
sure?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that sounds right.
Yeah. No, you're thinking of the what's the term? The troller. I don't remember his name. The guy that the main bad guy pays.
Are you talking about Happy Gilmore?
Yeah.
Going,
And that's what he's
You're
thinking.
never going to get off that beach.
You're right.
you jackass.
That's what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Putting that aside, we actually got a great podcast for you today. There's a lot of things in the news that have happened since we recorded last. It's almost been a week and a half since we talked video games. Since then, we're also going to talk about the Red Dead Redemption trailer that dropped last week. We've all been playing some Cuphead, so we'll be discussing that. Also, we've had the SNES Classic for a week, so we'll talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to play a different game at the end of the night other than trivia, so we look forward to that. But first, guys, how you doing?
Doing great. What's the game?
It's a surprise.
Do we have to wait?
You can't just spring this on us.
No, it's a team effort. It's a team effort, so it's not individual accountability.
Gotcha.
So, it's been a week and a half since we probably recorded last.
Yep.
What's everybody been playing lately?
Cuphead.
Cuphead. I've still been playing Destiny 2 pretty much nonstop. Haven't had a chance to really touch my SNES Classic either. Well, I've touched it a little bit, probably for like a few hours, but
You teased it, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just teased it.
I'm trying to get to the point in Destiny where I've done everything so I can put it down and finally move on to other stuff. I'm getting there.
I don't think that's the point of Destiny. Destiny is supposed to be like a long life game.
Yeah. Well, until you get all the weapons and armor that you want.
Once you've hit
then
the
it's
max,
like-
the cap, like, what do you do?
Yeah, because then you got to wait for, then the hard mode of the raid comes out,
Right.
and then certain weekends they do PvP events or faction rallies or stuff like that. So there'll still be stuff to do.
Unless you're hardcore into the PvP and find
Right.
that repetitiveness okay.
Right. I think it'll get to a point where I only want to do the raids because there's
Yeah.
doing all the other content's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, and I'm getting there as I'm almost maxed light level now.
Last time we talked to you, it was the week of Destiny's drop, and you had dropped 60 hours in like 4 or 5 days. Where do you think you're at now for hours?
I don't know if I was that. I don't know if I had that many hours, but
You don't have to say anything. Plead the fifth.
I was probably like after the first week, 30 or 40 hours. Probably. I probably average right around 4 or 5 hours a day.
Gotcha.
I don't know if the math adds up there.
I dumped 40 hours into Danganronpa 3 over the last week.
Oh my god.
And I beat it today, and the ending pissed me off so bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The ending it breaks the fourth wall, and it actively references the fact that Danganronpa has been canceled.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, it's really weird, and they start referencing the previous games. It really is.
Since you talked about it, I actually looked into it, and it looks like almost a computer point and click with some like detective aspects to it.
Yeah, it's basically a detective game where you solve mysteries. There's a lot of cool mysteries in there until you get to the end of the game where they ruin all the mysteries by revealing that, like, oh, this thing was a red herring. It means nothing. And then you'll go and, like, there's in Danganronpa 1, there's a character who survives until the end of the game and escapes the high school and everything. And then in Danganronpa 2, the same character appears in the game, except he's fat. Like, he's like a fat version of the same guy. And then by the end of the game, you find out, oh, that didn't matter at all. Like, that was a person, an imposter acting like that person.
So after watching the gameplay, you gotta tell me what is going on with these teddy bears. What is? They each have like a different theme. And one of them seemed really perverted.
Yeah, I can't explain that.
Is it just like a thing in Danganronpa? Just
yeah,
these teddy bears?
the black and white teddy bear is like the main Monokuma. He's like the main villain of the whole series, and in this game he has children that just run amok.
Jesus.
And they make bear puns, and it's disgusting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like every time they appear in the level, they say "Rise and shine, Ursine," and they flip
Ursine?
It's
Oh,
stupid.
God.
And they say when they leave, they all in unison. They're like, "So long, bear well."
Jesus.
That's amazing.
It's funny, but the game is fucking gross.
Do you think that it being the third one, it's done, or do you think they keep going with this series?
I think the company that makes it, Spike Chunsoft, they said they're done with it.
Oh, really?
And I think that's why they reference the fact that they're done with it in this game. But if it sold enough, then I bet they make another one.
I've got back into Overwatch. I didn't know that they made a new map, Tinkertown. Have you played that yet?
I haven't played Junkertown.
Junkertown.
Yeah.
Junkertown. Not
I
Tinkertown.
haven't played Junkertown yet. I haven't played Overwatch in a little while.
Yeah, I just
I'm
picked it back up this week.
coming back because the Halloween skins look crazy.
Oh my god, they released
Like Santa Claus and stuff, or what?
No, there's Zenyatta, Cthulhu
Oh my
Zenyatta.
god, that looks amazing.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I want the
Cthulhu?
Cthulhu.
Okay.
He's like
Oh.
Zenyatta. He's like the robot monkey guy.
He's got, like, tentacles or
Yeah, he's
something?
got tentacles coming out of his face.
I hope they keep
It
the
was awesome.
tradition going with the past, where you can get it in the boxes, or you can
Yeah.
pay 3,000 coins for a skin.
I have a bunch of coins saved up.
Yeah, I've just got a
because-
little over 3,000.
Is 3,000 a lot then?
Yeah,
It's quite a bit,
It's quite
yeah.
quite a bit of
Okay.
farming.
I'm still working my way through Metroid. I can only play that game for 20 to 30 minutes because I usually play my 3DS before I go through my night routine of getting ready for bed. I beat Mario Rabbids.
Oh, nice.
As much as you can beat the final boss of that game.
Yeah.
Without going too much spoilers here, it was a cool take on a traditional Mario final boss.
Yeah.
Is it Bowser in a bathtub?
Oh god, no.
That was awesome.
I don't want to ruin it for you
Or in
guys.
a hot
but
tub.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, that's
whatever
what
he
it
was-
was. Yeah.
whatever
I'm
he
on
was-
vacation, Mario. How dare you?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Bowser's included, but it's not fair to say that it's Bowser.
Oh,
But then
oh,
the music
I know
in
what
the
it
music
is.
in the
Probably
final
a
boss.
robot
Rabid
Bowser.
Bowser.
The
Cut
final,
that out. I guessed it.
like for some reason the game has this whole awesome soundtrack. It's all delightful. Then you get to the final boss and this opera music kicks in. It's like super dramatic, and that kind of
That's
threw me
awesome.
It kind of threw me off because I was like, really, this is like Dark Souls music.
Yeah.
And then it's the final boss's theme. I'm like, okay, this is kind of sweet.
Yeah.
They did that with I think it was Mario 3D World. You fight Cat Bowser, which is my favorite Bowser ever because he's just like falling off the tower, like like popping out
That's
of.
like, oh yeah, because you had to climb the tower with him to beat him.
Yeah,
That's
and,
right.
and it was the same thing where it was like this orchestral.
with Bowser.
And it's just Bowser as a cat. You're like,
Right.
oh, okay, great.
I'm at the point where Mario Rabbids where I can play it for 20 minutes just to go back and try to improve a score, or like I haven't picked up any of the DLC yet. I'm kind of waiting on the DLC, but I feel like I got more than 20 hours worth of content in that game, so I was pretty happy with how it ended. So. All right, but moving on, we got a lot of news to cover today. First one being the updated PlayStation VR was announced, a new unit essentially, but a slight improvement compared to the first model that was released almost a year ago, October 2016. The major improvements being the headphones are integrated, the cables seem to be reduced since the first model had a lot of cables, and then there was some interference between the converter box with the PS4 and how HDR ran on PS4 Pros. But that being said, guys, it's only been 1 year since the first model released. Was that a good move on Sony to release with improvements they did, with very slight improvements, a year later on the PSVR?
Well, I didn't buy it, but you did, John.
I did.
How betrayed do you feel by this release?
I don't think the changes are enough to justify, first of all, getting another unit. But like, it's not. Yes, the first unit is very cumbersome, but it's not enough to say, oh, I need to upgrade.
No.
Right.
I don't think it was so much that. I was thinking that VR is not doing well. It's not a market that's doing well at all across the board. And this might be an avenue that they tried to take to try to increase those sales.
Well, that's a question I was going to ask you guys. I don't think the problem is the unit. I think the problem is the games.
I'd agree.
There's no big hitters out there. There's a lot of micro games, but the last big game I played was Batman,
Yeah.
and that was back in February.
Yeah.
I haven't had a PSVR hit in 6 months. Granted, I've had a ton of other games to play, but I don't know why they would do a new unit when they should be focusing on the games.
Right. I don't feel any desire to go and pick up a new VR due to the update. For
Yeah.
me personally, there's not enough games that warrant the purchase.
Right.
And just because they made it less cumbersome, you don't have to worry about the headsets that are now installed, which is nice. Which is I think
Right.
that should have come originally with
Right.
it. I was kind of surprised it wasn't, but until the games are there, there's no reason for me to pick it up personally.
Yeah, these are nice changes, but
Yeah.
it's not worthy of buying it now.
It's almost like every day, kind of remove the hassle a little bit. Maybe for someone who's looking at picking up, make it look a little bit more appealing. But I think if someone was on the fence, I don't know if these changes were quite big enough.
If they
I
drop,
don't know though.
If they dropped this with a big game that they were coming out with for VR, maybe. But it has to be a big game for it.
Yeah, what's that mouse game where one player puts on the VR and moves the blocks around, and one player gets on the? Do you remember that?
I remember seeing that, but I forget what it was.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's a killer app, right?
Well, that's the thing. PlayStation doesn't really push, or I feel like there's a lack of attention to VR, especially on PlayStation.
Which makes this weird. What do you think there? Do you think this was for Fallout 4 VR?
It could be
or
that,
something?
or it could just be Sony trying to make a pitch for sales during the holiday season. Maybe people are going shopping this
Yeah.
fall, and outside of their PS4 and the PS4 Pro, which are doing just fine, they want to try another product to push.
What do I buy? I don't know. You can't find a
Yeah.
Switch.
This is their best attempt to counteract Odyssey.
But if you talk to a general consumer, who's going to want a $400 PSVR, which you actually need a PlayStation first to play it,
Right.
but or you go out and find a Switch for $300.
And now you
Right.
need a PlayStation 4 Pro to take full advantage of the new VR if it is the
Oh,
HDR
Right.
enabled or whatever. So
Right.
how much money are we talking about dropping now? 700?
Right.
Is that what we're up to?
Yeah, I think
I don't
people.
know. Is it worth $700?
No,
for what you're
for
getting? I
Batman
don't-
VR and Fallout 4. No.
Right.
I just don't. It doesn't make sense to me.
When's
no way.
Fallout VR coming out?
I
Sometime-
couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I think it's sometime this fall.
So, like, really, the
Yeah.
only VR actual game besides like all the simple, work and all that crap is just Resident Evil 7.
Resident Evil one's a pitch. There's Batman out there, and then a lot of games have they call them experiences.
That's
like,
what I'm talking about.
Like the first
Those games.
Battlefront had like a X-wing mission. But
Oh, yeah.
But that's what they're missing out on. They have all these
like
big-
one-offs.
they have all this giant PlayStation library, and they're not doing any of these like tie-in experiences, which they could be doing. Like if you would give me a Nier Automata VR experience, I would have totally checked that out because that game's bizarre, and I loved every
Like,
aspect of that world.
Like Uncharted, like if you went first person and you were
Yeah.
jumping across chasms and shooting people, that'd be awesome.
Right, that'd be an easy help to help
Yeah.
sell Lost Legacy.
So are developers just not wanting to develop games for it because there's not enough people who own it?
It's hard to say.
Like why are there no games? That's what I don't quite
think,
understand.
when the first base model launched, the sales were really good. So there's systems out there.
Okay.
But people are either have dropped off the scene like I did, or Sony's not producing enough content to appeal to all the audience there. But on a whole different note, Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta dropped this week. A lot of people are weighing in on their thoughts and impressions. A lot of gameplay has been released. Some new stuff we've seen. I think if you wanted to, you could actually go out and see all the worlds and experiences there are. But that being said, if you guys had a chance to check out any videos, or I picked up the beta, but I only played like 10 minutes of it. Other than I've been watching videos. How about you guys?
What was your experience with the beta? Did you enjoy it?
I did. I played the Naboo mission where you're
Okay.
just a robot, and I feel like the scale system was better because I actually held my own,
Okay.
and I didn't expect to. I expected to get destroyed, which I end up getting destroyed. But I'm not sure if it's because I just got into playing another first-person shooter. I was better, but it looks gorgeous. Looks awesome.
Right. The other one looked gorgeous too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the one thing I liked about the first one. I rented it for a little while. I just liked it. It looked like you were in the movie. They put a filter on it or something to make it look a little shittier, like
Yeah.
to downgrade it to movie quality, and it looked really cool.
Yeah, and this one looks just the same.
Yeah.
The
Are there Gungans?
not that I've seen.
Can you go to the planet core?
Well, not only that, like outside of playing, just watching people with the different characters they can pick up with Darth Maul, Rey, Han Solo, and just seeing what those guys can do, what good players can do with those characters. It's so satisfying watching Darth Maul just destroy,
Just wreck people.
20 to 30 people at a time, 20 to 30 players at a time. Looks so good.
And is it still the same where you have to go on like a massive kill streak to unlock Darth Maul? And then you all of a sudden get to play as him and you're running around.
Yeah, for like every kill or so, you get so many experience or points,
And you
and
get
then
to certain-
it stacks up
okay.
eventually, and you can unlock it. But there appears to be an issue that people have noticed. I didn't get a chance to experience it, but it appears to be another, like all the DLC is supposed to be free, but there appears to be a pay-to-win element to this game. So
You
you
fucking knew it. I don't trust those people.
Like,
I can't trust them.
I don't think it's extreme, but it appears to be if you want to have a slight edge or like a upgrade before somebody else does,
Right.
you can pay for it instead of saving up points.
Like an XP boost, or are we talking about like actual
weapons and character
Oh,
classes.
that's-
Aren't they doing loot boxes like Overwatch?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
God, it's EA, right?
Yeah.
They
always
they
pull this
love
shit.
this. Yeah,
Wait,
they
so
love it.
Is it
Always do this.
randomized boxes? Like there's
I think so, but
so they should have.
But they're not
they
just
should-
cosmetic. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have just followed Blizzard's thing,
Yeah.
where
Yep.
you can pay for the boxes, which is hell expensive, but everyone gets the chance. Everyone gets the same boxes, and you all get the chance at the same stuff. But and it's all cosmetic stuff.
well,
It's
this
not weapons.
No, this has like weapons. It has
I know, that's
like
what I'm talking
skin to
about.
characters, but
Ugh.
yeah, people
That's stupid.
who play the beta are saying that there is still an element of you can get a slight edge in battle if you pay for these.
Can you
things up front.
unlock the boxes by playing the game? It's just much more slowly.
Yes.
Yeah,
the
I
currency or
imagine
whatever.
it's like Overwatch where you get like points at the end of every battle,
Right.
whether you win or lose, and then you get automatically like in Overwatch every level you get a
Yeah,
box automatically. So I imagine it's kind of like that.
And I have no issues with cosmetic loot boxes like
Yeah.
CS:GO or
Right.
Overwatch, but
Yeah.
when it starts to affect gameplay to where you feel like, oh god, I have to go buy
Right.
boxes because I keep getting wrecked by this guy who has a silencer that I can't open up, or he has a
Assault
upgraded
rifle or
AK
something, yeah.
yeah, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
That shit pisses me off.
Yeah.
It makes it almost unplayable or make me very strongly against picking the
I
game.
usually stop playing games if I realize that's what's happening.
Right.
Like if I get lit up by some guy
Uh-huh.
and I realize, oh, he has a gun that's locked behind a paywall.
Right. Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'll appreciate
more.
it for a couple hours, and then I'll go back to like Overwatch or something.
I'll
where
play
it's
the storyline
smoothed
and-
out and
yeah.
perfect. I saw a little bit of the space battle. That was sweet.
Oh yeah, there
Where
is space.
actually-
Yeah,
where
you
actual
get-
fighter.
There was a chance to play Space Battles in the beta. I never got around to it, but I don't know. Space Battles just looked so slowed down because they have to be. It'd be
Yeah.
too hard to play that game at a fast pace in Space Battle.
Yeah.
It's like an HD remake of Star Fox.
Oh, there you go.
Kind of.
I mean, it's
Like you're playing as like I saw somebody play as Millennium Falcon, but it looks like they're just like drifting through space because you can't have that thing going Mach speed in battle. It'd be hard to control and it'd be nuts.
And people were asking for space battles in the game, right?
Right,
So
right.
they kind of added that for the fans, basically.
Right. Well, I know for this, I think I'm not sure compared to the first one. But the first one, this one has a team that worked on the first-person shooter aspect.
Okay.
Then a whole different studio worked on the space battles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they just came together for this game.
So it's not going to be half-assed. It's actually going to be well developed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. All right, and a whole different note, switching to on the handheld side, we got some updates to Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon this week, including some new Ultra Beast, some new areas, and a reinterpretation of the storyline. How many of you guys here actually played Sun or Moon, the first one, a year ago?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it? The
I
first
thought the story was bad. I think.
Sure.
So if they're releasing a new story, that makes a lot of sense to me. I
Yeah.
don't think I finished it. I think I got upset like halfway through and was like, yeah, this is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
You play Pokemon games for the story?
Well, you know,
That's bizarre to me.
I don't.
I guess I play for different reasons.
I don't play it to like raise a team and get the.
That's
you know-
why I play.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
see.
too
I
gross.
just wanted to play through it and be like, so I was in the loop on is this good, is this bad,
Yeah.
and I decided for myself, unlike you sheep, that it was bad.
I never play Pokemon games for the story, I guess. I always enjoy the RPG elements of raising Pokemon, catching ones with certain natures, maybe trying to catch shinies and having like overpowered movesets and stuff like that.
I think I burned out on that when we used to play in high school.
Yeah.
And we would just
I
sit
don't do
around.
it to the EVs
Yeah.
and IVs and like hardcore online battling extent.
We used to be
But
nasty.
yeah.
So some of the new Ultra Beasts in this game, which were teased in the first, well, you had Ultra Beasts in the first game, but in the Ultra versions, Each Ultra Beast has their own world, which we got a tease of in the first rendition, but in the second rendition, they're actually full fleshed out areas that you can walk through and capture the beast in its home territory per se, which was kind of just messed with in the first one, but it wasn't fully explored. And then I didn't look too much into it, but there's supposed to be a reinterpretation of the story, and I think it's mostly focused on the Ultra Beast instead of your island adventure, which the first one was all about your beating the kahunas and going through island
The
to island.
trials.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
All right, we got some news coming out of Xbox this week. Outside of all the press for Forza, we also got an announcement that the Duke controller, the original Xbox controller, is getting a re-release approved by Microsoft. Did you guys ever play the original
It's
Xbox?
so weird.
Oh my god.
Why did they do this?
And
Because it's awesome. It's nostalgic, and it's a huge controller. It's good for people with big... Look at my hands. I need that
I guess
controller.
it's for Andy.
It's
yeah,
for me.
that makes sense.
I play my Steam thing on my PC. I play with that little version of the controller. I have a smaller one than even the Xbox 360.
It's so enormous, and that the buttons are like millimeters apart from each other. It's so weird.
I love it. It's awesome. You can press every button with your thumb.
That's true.
You only need one thumb for the... I guess normally you'd only need one thumb.
The normal controller fits my hand, so I guess that's why it seems so bizarre to me.
yeah.
Because I don't have massive hands like Andy. So, but I guess there's a
Well,
market.
my
apparently.
pinky curls around the bottom of the,
really?
the grip, and I'm like, I gotta keep that pinky out of there. So this
crazy.
thing is perfect for me. I probably won't buy it because I don't have an Xbox, but
Yeah, I think it's people who buy this are going to buy it just for a shelf, to put it on the shelf. I don't see people using this
it
because
would
it's not
break the shelf.
well, it's not practical to use. You'd be at a disadvantage using this controller for anything multiplayer. You could play like, oh, this is awesome. I remember playing this. Oh, this is why I stopped playing it.
You have to go like do some weight training to hold this thing. It's like another dimension of gaming. You have to hold the fucking thing.
I think it's definitely going to be a collector's item, but just out of your guys' curiosity here, if it's a collector's item and it gets a limited run, what price tag do you put on an old controller that's getting re-released?
$80.
80?
Whoa.
80
Because a
bucks?
normal controller 60.
Yeah,
right?
normally they're okay.
So do you add on a surplus?
It is Microsoft licensed, so it will be an official thing. It's not some third-party company.
I bet they don't go over 70.
Well, because they do make controllers that are like, aftermarket, and they have like special designs and special grips. I think those generally run right around $70, $80.
That's a good point.
So this one's probably going to run somewhere in that. Plus, it's going to be very niche, so it might even be more than that. I don't know.
I hope not. That just feels like a lot of money for backwards.
I mean, controllers nowadays are just expensive.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Switch is setting the new
Switch was 70, 75, right?
80.
For Joy-Cons.
75, 80,
For
yeah.
Joy-Cons.
Plus, you need a storage unit to keep it in.
I was thinking the Pro.
Monthly.
Need a rental.
If anybody buys this, I feel like it's going to stay in its case. And
Does anyone need to buy it because their hands are so huge they just can't play a normal controller? Is that an actual problem?
Yeah, Andre the Giant. You think he could play Cuphead on the 360 with?
If it was a massive problem, I thought they would have solved it by
Yeah,
now.
or just not
Like,
play
had enough-
games in
yeah.
general. Yeah.
I think it's a cool tie-in.
Try to take advantage
for
of
hardcore Xbox fans.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, on some Nintendo front news here. We talked about this on another episode, but Golf Story came in a week ago Friday, and reviews are coming in really good. People are really liking it. They're saying it's actually an RPG with only a little bit of golf element, and the golf element is really good, but the RPG aspect of it is 10 times better. So I watched the first 15 minutes of it. It's quite the funny game.
Spoilers.
It's funny. Hey!
Dick move, bro.
So within the first 5 minutes,
You didn't care about spoiling it for yourself, though?
no,
Okay.
because it's all about the gameplay. But the first 15 minutes is you and your wife decide to get a divorce, and you decide to go back to your golfing career.
Oh, jeez.
And your dad was your inspiration as a kid for golfing.
It sounds amazing.
And like,
Do you drive drunk
no,
on
here's
a
the
golf cart too?
here's the best part. The first 15 minutes, everybody hates you. Everyone thinks you're some like old man who sucks.
Oh, jeez.
So everybody's giving you crap on the course.
Because
and
you're
the-
actually bad at
Yeah,
golfing? Okay.
and then I've heard stories of like your ex-wife at the whole game like taunts you during tournaments.
Oh, no.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
The muckman's fucking your wife.
How much is this game?
I think it's like $10 or $15.
I'm buying this when I get home.
Yeah,
Never
it's
getting
right
off that
away.
beach, you
yeah,
jackass.
and it's like they say for there's tons of side missions, but there's also a lot of golf elements to it. But it's like a 16-hour game for $10 to $15, and that's really good.
God,
It's only $10.
I think it's like 10 to 15. I think so.
Man.
I'm
That's
picking
sweet.
this up right
That'd be
away.
amazing
Yeah.
if there was a haggler every other round or every other hole.
Sounds like a good game you could play like while laying in bed. You know, it's not
yeah.
like super.
Well, it's,
crazy,
it's
like,
perfect
aiming
for
and
like
stuff.
turn off and on because you
Yeah.
can jump right back into it. But also the first scene was you get to the first like area, and like there's 8 different areas. So each have their own golf courses, and they each have the second area is a desert, and part of outside of golfing, you're digging up dinosaur bones. In the first area, you walk in, there's this guy training these 3 kids. And he's walking. You walk up to like, "Hey, can I get a free lesson?" He's like, "No, get out of here, get out."
It's like the tutorial level, but he's like, "Fuck off."
Exactly.
That's awesome.
One of the best elements about this game is you can drop and hit a ball anywhere. You don't have to be on the course. You can be out exploring and just drop a ball and hit an item in the distance that you need
Oh, really?
with your golf ball.
Can you like go up to some random stranger and just drive a golf ball into it?
I don't know.
Amazing.
Well, like, there's like these characters who have all these side missions, and like I think one person recorded like there's an item stuck on a roof of a thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't get that down. So your character just drops a golf ball, and you actually do the mechanic of lining up the golf ball,
Yeah.
putting the curve on it, and then you hit this item down, and you get money from it.
And he
Obviously,
gives you a reward or something.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks.
yeah. But I guess like
jeez.
the clubs and like these elements that part of your outfit or whatever help actually give you really cool bonuses. So it really helps your curve, really helps your distance. There's stuff like that on the course. So that just sounds really cool. And I was like, I wanted this game. I wanted this game since I saw it. I haven't picked it up yet, but I'm just glad that it's doing really good.
Yeah.
All right, and then some other games that came out this week. We'll just kind of briefly go over them. Mario Luigi Superstar Saga came out this October 6th, Friday. So this is a 3DS remake of the original GBA Superstar Saga. Did you guys play this game when it first came out?
I was gonna say I feel like this game has come out 3 or 4 times, like Mario and Luigi something.
Definitely that series has had 3 or 4
Yeah.
releases.
Okay,
But the
that's what it
Superstar
is.
Saga was the first one. It's getting released for the 3DS, and you look at it on the 3DS and you're thinking, man, they didn't really improve much. But then you look at the GBA gameplay footage and like, oh, they improved a lot.
Yeah, I played this one when it came out on Game Boy Advance like 10 years ago
Yeah,
or something crazy like that. And it is a really good game. I'd recommend picking it up on 3DS.
I didn't play the Game Boy Advance one, so I might pick this one up. Sounds fun.
You'll like it.
Yeah.
Some good RPG there. On a whole different note, another 3DS game that came out this week was Layton's Mystery Journey. I think this is originally an iPhone game that came out, now it's coming out for the 3DS. This is a hardcore puzzle / brain teaser game.
Okay.
You guys ever played a game like this, or any of the Laytons?
I played Layton. It was Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton.
Oh yeah.
And it took the trials from Phoenix Wright and it combined it with the puzzles from Professor Layton, and I hated it.
Oh really?
Yeah, I don't like the puzzles. I don't know why. They're not fun. If you're into that kind of thing, Layton's one of the better puzzle series. I think.
Definitely. And the last game that came out this week was Forza Motorsport 7, which is another racing game we've talked about before. It's a racing sim. It looks great. Every Forza game looks awesome, looks realistic as it can be. Just a very niche racing game. But that game brings up a question for you guys I want to ask you guys. In the hypothetical situation that you're a hardcore Xbox fan, and you have the Xbox One X coming out next month, do you pick up Forza day one and play it immediately because you're a big Forza fan? Or do you wait for the X to come out and play it in the best version possible?
I'll let you guys answer because I can't imagine a hypothetical situation where I'm an Xbox fan.
If I was buying an X
And you're buying an X, then
Huh?
you'd wait, I think.
yeah, like if I was buying an X and I was also getting like let's say
So
Assassin's Creed Origins, I'd probably wait a week to play Origins to play it on the X. There's people who out there who want to play a game immediately as soon as they pick it up, but
Yeah.
there's some people who who thrive on tech performance. You can't talk. You're
Yeah, like especially with a game like Forza, where it's meant to be visually amazing.
4K
Yeah,
HDR.
Why wouldn't you just wait if you're getting one?
That's just hypothetical. I think that's gonna be a scenario people run into.
It's like if Breath of the Wild came out on the Wii U, but then you had to wait like 2 or 3 weeks for the
Switch
Switch
ver-
version.
Ooh.
Would you wait?
I
Or
would
would
have
you-
waited.
If you had a Wii U, would you buy it just so you could play it right away?
No, I could easily wait.
But that's like a hypothetical. Like we
Equivalent.
can't fathom that because we hate driving
Because
games.
we hate Forza and love Zelda.
But just to give you another idea of what it would be like.
Well, to Jesse's point, I think I picked up Twilight Princess on GameCube because it came out first, and then I think 2 or 3 weeks later I picked it up also on the Wii.
On the Wii, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Just because I had to have both, and I was semi-interested in just how the motion controls worked on Twilight Princess.
Yeah, but you're also a collector, so that doesn't bother you at all to have two
But
copies.
I was a junior in high school when this came out. I didn't have money to be collecting games like that. Worked my job at Menards, lived paycheck to paycheck, and I spent my money again, $60 on the Wii version, just because everything was flipped and it had motion controls.
I would say you're a stupid child.
I'm scrapping and scrounging. I got 2 copies of Twilight Princess.
I do my first shift in the Menards, and then I do my second shift behind the Menards.
All right, so let's get to one of the meaty portions of our show, and we'll see how long we can dive into this, because we only got a little bit of it. And that is the Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer dropped last week. This was teased by Rockstar, but then we got an official trailer from it. It's only like a minute and a half long for a teaser trailer, but we learned some new things from it. We learned that Arthur Morgan is our new protagonist. And from the trailer, we kind of learned that he's a legit kind of bad guy. Like, he looks like a good outlaw character.
Well, no, he says like he's already done something to the family. He's like, oh, I'd hate to do another thing to your mother. Like,
Right.
take him too. Like, they've already, I think he said father or something.
Right.
But it's just
they're,
like,
actually,
Jesus.
they're actually showing him off as like a outlaw in the West.
Yeah.
So that prompts the question, and Redemption 1, it's called Red Dead Redemption. The redemption part is like you're supposed to be making a turnaround.
Right.
And you play as John Marston in the first one, and obviously he goes through the redemption process. But based off of this trailer for 2 we've seen, it looks like you're just going to play a flat-out bad guy.
That's cool.
You guys
Well,
okay? You guys okay with that?
Maybe
Yeah.
at first, and then something happens where you're just like, oh, now I'm pissed.
I don't think Red Dead 1 even teased the bad part of John. Well, none of the trailers didn't tease John Marston being bad, but showed off mechanics. So far, like, they focus on him, Arthur Morgan, being a legit bad guy.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Right.
Maybe you play 10% of the game as a bad guy, and then you get, like, completely fucked over. And then you spend the rest of the 90 just, like, working your way back up.
But what would you rather see, though? Would you rather be like a legit outlaw in the West and to flat out be a bad guy for most of this game? And then John Marston comes in at the end as a good character and you know what happens to him. But would you rather play a badass outlaw who doesn't give a crap about law or morals? Or do you want another redemption story with this character?
Well, it's Rockstar, so no one has a problem playing a bad guy.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking it sounded more like a Grand Theft Auto
Grand Theft
type
Auto,
thing,
yeah.
where you're going around doing naughty things,
Right.
and heists. Maybe there's some kind of like train heist
Yeah.
thing, like with online or something else.
People
like
love
that.
Grand Theft Auto, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this last time I did this with you guys, that Grand Theft Auto people still play that online.
Yeah.
like
Right.
4.
Yeah.
I think I read or heard something that fans actually wanted a darker side of Red Dead Redemption. So maybe this is what this is.
It could be. Based off of what we know so far, the character appears to be really bad, and he looks like we'll be doing some dirty stuff in the West.
I know they tease at some point a train heist, right?
Yeah.
Like where you're robbing
Oh,
a train.
I was
and you
right.
gotta-
Okay.
Yeah, which seems really cool because
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto focused on heist, and putting that in Red Dead Redemption, that seems like an easy fit.
Right.
Plus, you travel with an outlaw gang, so I mean, we'll get to that a little bit later. But there seems to be some multiplayer aspect to this gang, so we'll see how well that gets fleshed out.
Right.
That's the other thing we're going to talk about is kind of the setting / time frame here. We know it takes place before Red Dead Redemption, which I believe was in the late 1800s, if not early 1900s. First Red Dead Redemption 1.
I think this one's 1910.
Are you sure? I feel like it should be earlier than that.
I feel like I read that somewhere.
That either way, we're also on the edge of the West is going away in this timeline. But this time we're also taking place not so much in like the desert area of Redemption 1, but more in the Great Plains, where there appears to be lots of grass, foliage,
Yeah.
animals, buffalo. How do you guys feel about, we're not for sure yet, but stepping away from the desert scene, but still kind of a Great Plains field kind of look to this game.
I think it's cool because we see like that desert aesthetic in almost every kind of media you consume about like Wild West. It's all like desert, dead, cactus, whatever. So it's kind of neat to see something a little different.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they got changed up a little bit compared to the first one.
Yeah.
Granted, it's been 7 years since we've seen Red Dead Redemption. The first one was released.
I think it opens up a lot just so you're not looking at a desert the whole time. But if you still want to experience the desert, there's still a section for that. But or like forests and plains add a lot more vibrant colors, much more pretty to look at. Because this game, at least from the trailer, looks like it's going to be a beautiful game.
This game is built for PS4 and what Xbox are we on?
S.
Xbox
One.
Yeah,
One. So
yeah.
Xbox One family.
This one's built for PS4 and Xbox One. So you imagine that it's going to be, the map is going to be enormous.
This will have PC too.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it won't be
Oh,
on
it
PC.
won't?
There's no word of PC yet.
What?
Yeah, if you don't remember, Red Dead Redemption 1 never
Grand
came
Theft
to...
Auto came to
Oh,
PC.
yeah,
didn't it?
and Grand Theft Auto, it was on
Oh,
PC.
it took forever, though.
Much later,
Ooh,
yeah.
And I think Red Dead
Weird.
Redemption 1 didn't actually come to the PC. I think it was...
Yeah, it never did.
Yeah, so that's a whole different subject, and we'll see what happens there.
Because that's where the modding scene for Grand Theft Auto took off, was on PC.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I'd be surprised if it doesn't ever come. Maybe it's just much
Yeah.
later, like
I think it's
Grand
much
Theft
later.
Auto did. Grand Theft Auto did.
Grand Theft Auto. They took my orders. We gotta save the zoo critters.
Jesus.
Sorry, I could not jump on you.
I was surprised I said otter, too.
Yeah, it's
I had a
funny.
little brain meltdown there. It was like, I'm back.
No, yeah, that'd be a huge
He's
market
on
to miss
zebra
out on.
back.
Grand Theft Auto, obviously, huge for online multiplayer and modding. The Red Dead Redemption Online has been trademarked, but we have not seen anything about it. So it's not actually confirmed that it's coming, but you gotta expect with the Grand Theft Auto Online scene how successful it is, and it pays for their bills today, years later.
Yeah.
I think it'd be easy to incorporate a multiplayer online function with gang robbery, stuff like that in the West. I feel like that's an easy fit. Do you guys think that would work?
Yeah.
Do you think this
Yeah.
online function transfers to Red Dead Redemption?
There's almost no way they don't do this. Like just seeing how successful Grand Theft Auto is online,
Right.
Like there's no way they're not working on it, or that they'll. I imagine they'll release it like a year late. Didn't they release Grand Theft Auto Online?
It was
like-
a little bit later.
Yeah, so I don't think it'll be there for launch, but there's no way they're not working on this like crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how well it'll mesh over to the Wild West setting. Like, I still think it'll be cool,
Right.
but it's not like as busy as like today's society now is.
As far as we know.
And I think it kind of depends. Like, if it does go multiplayer, is it going to be like game modes? Like, there's going to be a heist
right.
mode, or like
Yeah, that's what I was more talking
rob
about.
a
Like,
bank
if it's a
mode.
heist, like
maybe a deathmatch mode where you just try to kill people too?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or is it going to be open world like Grand Theft Auto where you can just run around, and maybe there'll be all of those.
I think an online function is inevitable just because, I mean, Grand Theft Auto Online paid for Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
still
and then
going.
some,
Yep.
so it pays for the bills today. And I think, even if it's not a huge crowd, if there's any crowd that wants to play Online West, I don't think there's a game out there or a scene right now out there for an online Western. I don't think we've seen that yet.
Yeah.
So why
Or-
not Rockstar lay the foundation for that?
Or maybe Rockstar just wants to keep it separate. Maybe they just want to, like, we want to do this for the fans that are already Red Dead Redemption fans, and then we'll keep that kind of thing to GTA 5.
Maybe. I think the fact that it's trademarked is a sign that if it isn't thought about yet, I think they're definitely thinking about it. I think it's just a matter of when.
Or it's one of those things where they register all the trademarks they can possibly think of,
Right,
just to
that
make
too.
sure they have their bases covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. I think it's exciting to know that the engine for a modern day Red Dead Redemption is built. So what else do we see DLC come out for this? I think we didn't get any DLC story missions for Grand Theft Auto 5. It was actually all multiplayer stuff and online function. So do we get DLC for Red Dead Redemption? I feel like Red Dead Redemption is, if not more, story driven than Grand Theft Auto, in my opinion.
All right. I think most people
Would
agree
be-
with you.
Yeah.
And then before we kind of jump to our final thoughts on Red Dead Redemption, do you guys expect John Marston to come back in this game? In what fashion do you think we see our old protagonist come back. He was kind of people are interpreting in the trailer they talked about one more hire or one more gun for a heist. What they're supposedly talking about. People are expecting it's a young John Marston.
Right.
But does him being in the game or not being in the game play a huge fact to you guys and what you want for a Red Dead Redemption experience?
I could go either way. I think
Right.
if they do it, I think it'd be fine. I think just, they need to make sure if they're doing it right then, because if they do it wrong, they're going to screw up pretty badly. But if they don't, then that's fine too. If they just do like a small like cameo at the end,
At the end,
yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool that if you play this Arthur Morgan for the majority of the game, then just like Red Dead Redemption 1, John Marston dies and you play as his son. I think it'd be cool if you played as Arthur Morgan, that something happens to Arthur Morgan, you play a young John Marston after the main game's beat, and then you just play as him exploring the Great Plains by himself. I think that'd be cool. So, they also said spring 2018 for this game. What are the chances that sticks? Because Grand Theft Auto games and Rockstar games are just notorious for delays. And we've already had one in this game. I think it's very plausible we get another delay. Don't you guys think?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say how much they have done of it, just because we're going off mainly trailers or trailers that are not gameplay. It's the cinema version of it.
The footage, yeah.
The footage, yeah. So
Yeah, so it is kind of whenever they do release stuff like that, it's hard to say how much hard to say how much of the
Right.
game is actually done.
It's
they're
finished,
so
yeah.
hush hush about everything.
I could see them getting this pushed to like holiday 2018.
Yeah, me too. I just think Rockstar does whatever they want. If they're not happy with spring 2018, they'll easily push it.
Yeah.
Right.
But they've stuck this spring day on it twice now. So
Spring is pretty vague too, though, right?
yeah, it
Yeah.
could be late April or early May, as long if they're considering it Q1. So
Like pushbacks suck, but if it makes the game better, then all for it. Like make it good.
I don't remember, the Grand Theft Auto games or Red Dead Redemption 1 were they very glitchy when they launched? I don't remember them being too bad.
I think GTA had its issues, especially the online multiplayer.
Yeah.
It was pretty glitchy.
Was it?
I think so. I think I remember that. But the games itself, I don't think so. I think they're pretty polished.
All right, and a whole different note. Our next subject is one we actually played a little bit before this, and some of us have been playing a little bit longer than others, but that is Cuphead. Came out, I believe, a week ago. And just to recap what this game is, we've talked about it on the show before. It's a very Steamboat Willie 1920s looking cartoon game, and it's basically a shoot 'em up, and it's single player / co-op. But this game is a collection of boss rush modes and some side scrollers. But guys, you've been playing it. What are your thoughts so far?
Pretty damn right amazing. We were talking about it earlier. Like I am not like it has a pretty steep learning curve, so you got to stick with it. Just because learning the mechanics or becoming familiar with the mechanics of your own character, and then come the boss fights, which they throw right at you immediately, and then it's extremely tough, but it's definitely rewarding.
So real quick, just for the audience, describe a normal boss fight in this game.
So one of the first boss fights is you fight a three-part fight, and you play against a potato. Is the first part a potato?
Yeah, it sometimes randomly gives you a different first phase.
Yeah,
Depending on what
that's true.
one you're having more trouble against, the
Yeah.
game will actually adjust it a little bit. Yeah, it's a potato, an onion, and a carrot.
Yeah,
So I thought it was funny when you said describe a normal boss, and it's like
How do you describe that?
they're all freaks. none of this is normal.
yeah.
So there's 3 stages to a boss fight.
Not always.
Not always?
No, because
okay.
like the flying one, there's like 5-6
Yeah.
stages to that.
Oh.
There's some minor changes between the stages. So
I think so far I think I'm further than
yeah, you're the
than you.
first.
I'm in the third area. So far I'd put this like my second most favorite indie game,
Really?
under Shovel Knight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really like it.
That's awesome.
Even
think-
above Binding of Isaac.
I'd put it above Up Binding of
Really?
Isaac.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I really like it. I like the gameplay is awesome. I love games like this. I play like bullet hell games all the time. The animation, the sound, and everything they put into this game just feels right. I guess like it feels like you're playing this old crappy like rubber hose animation cartoon, And they actually, when they did this game, they actually drew everything out on cells like they would do in the old days.
Yeah.
And they like flipped between cells and they would draw the animations by hand.
Really?
They scanned everything into the computer and colored it.
Holy
And-
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything about this game is hand drawn. But these guys just started off making this game, and then once they teased it, like at E3 3 years ago, and people respond to it, Microsoft just started throwing money at them, like
Yeah.
make this a full-fledged game because people are gonna love it, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened.
So how long did it take to make this game? Just out of curiosity.
5 or 6 or
Well,
longer.
we
more
saw
years.
it 3 or 4 years ago as a
Okay.
tease.
Yeah.
And then everyone thought it was coming soon just based off the footage we saw, but nope, it took a long time to finish.
I think they tore the game after Microsoft threw the
Yeah.
money at them. I think they tore the game apart and rebuilt it from the ground up because they wanted to make sure, because it started out and it still is a passion project.
Yeah.
You can clearly tell it's like somebody's little baby basically.
Right.
But they ripped it apart and they made it in what it is today, which is this polished, perfect. It's a perfect game.
They're probably like, we have something here. Let's take it to
Yeah.
another level, because it was probably at a very early stage
Right.
when they saw it 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
The
whatever.
game is very hard, but it's not like unforgiving. So when it's not like you feel cheated by the game when you die constantly. It's your own fault.
You got to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people have been comparing it to like Dark Souls, which
Yeah.
every time anything slightly hard comes out, it's the Dark Souls of XYZ.
Yeah.
But I agree with it a little bit because Dark Souls is the same thing. It's like if you make a mistake, you made the mistake.
Right.
You have to go back. It's like trial and error until you figure out what you're doing.
Right.
So once you have the fights down, they take like 3 minutes maybe.
Yeah, tops.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because when you're fighting in a boss, it feels like time kind of, you lose track of time. 'Cause it feels like I'm fighting, like, just because you're constantly firing, it feels like the boss battles go for like 4 or 5 minutes, but then you get a recap of your score
Yeah.
at the end of the game based off your hits, your health, and your parries, and it's only like a minute 30.
Yeah, it gives you the time, and you say, "Oh,
That's it.
shit, yeah, I beat it in 2
Right.
minutes.
Yeah.
Great." And you could kind of see when we were playing, the two of us were playing it because neither of us had played 2-player before,
Right.
And we started playing it together, and you could see we were just like, "Yeah, just one more try. Yeah, one
Right.
more try. Jump back in. Jump
Right.
back in."
Could also res each other though too, which
Yeah.
adds another element of survival.
Right.
Even though it might be more difficult,
It's not 3 and done. There's
Right.
a potential 4 and
Yeah.
5.
because there would be several times where I'd die. John would bring me back to life,
Mm-hmm.
then he'd die, and then I'd bring him back, and we could kind of, rubber band back
Right.
and forth and get
Yeah.
close to killing bosses to where we had normally just been done way
Right.
sooner.
But that's good because it gets crazy chaotic.
Yeah.
When you've got 2 different players on a small, sometimes
Right.
there's a boss on either
Firing,
side of
like,
you.
a constant stream of bullets
Right.
coming out of both of
Or
you.
if
Right.
or you're firing different types of weapons, then you've got 2 different types of things going across the screen.
But then you can die trying to resurrect your friend, so you have to make the choice: do I risk my life, my last life, to try to save him?
Exactly.
Sometimes it's like, no,
No,
I
no,
can't
just
risk
keep
it.
going.
So
Yeah.
there's that aspect to it, but if you're also going for like a score, like you can't be taking damage.
no.
You have to be a flawless
Oh, yep.
run.
Flawless run. You have to parry 3 things, and you have
Yeah.
to get I think 6 supers off,
Right.
and they judge you based on the time, health, all the other stuff I just said.
And I didn't think I'd care so much about the rating system, but then as I got like past or to the end of World 1, I went back to like the first boss, the garden boss, and like after I beat it without taking any damage and seeing my score like an A, I'm like, wow, that feels really good. Now I want to do that for every boss now. Now, I can't, but I really want to. I want to get that A rating just for the fact of having an A rating.
John, there's an S rating.
Is there an S rating?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
It's been stuck on this pleb A stuff.
Yep. Oh. Have you guys heard about the quote unquote controversy about this game? Oh, it's weird. There's a couple of gaming journalist websites that say they're asking a question now about should game content be locked behind the difficulty.
Really?
And I think they're referencing the fact that in this game, if you beat the bosses on casual, you don't get the contract you need to move on. You actually have to beat them all on the normal difficulty.
You can't do it on simple or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they're saying that content that you have in this game that you paid for shouldn't be locked behind actually beating it in a meaningful way.
I think in any other game that might bother me, but in Cuphead it doesn't.
Because Cuphead's not a narrative game.
Right.
I think they're putting things together that if I was playing like Mass Effect and it was way too hard, it was unfair, and I felt like I was spending hours and hours on a certain area and I couldn't progress in the storyline, it might bother me a little bit.
Right.
Okay, so, but also to defend this, like, if you went into this thinking
It's going to be easy.
it's going to be easy,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have bought it. Like, that's your own fault.
No, but I also, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think Cuphead's a game where it's very intimidating at first. Because you can lose to a boss very quickly and like, how am I
Yeah.
ever going to beat this guy? But then in repetition, you learn the patterns, you learn how to dodge, you learn what to expect.
I think that's what the simple part is where it comes in.
Yeah.
That's like, does it just have less health? I don't know what makes it simpler.
I think some of the there's less chaos going on the screen, so
Okay.
you don't have to dodge so many
Right.
bullets and crazy things
That's fair.
jumping at you.
Yeah, so but you're still learning the mechanics of the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still going to apply to the regular version.
But yeah, I think going back to Andy's earlier point where if it was any other game and it was a story-driven game and there wasn't some kind of lock system to it, I'd be upset. But Cuphead's a game where if you play and continue to play it, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to get better at it. And I think if you start off playing simple, fine, and you're ready to make that switch to regular, yeah, you're going to have some difficulty at first, but you're going to get better. It'd be really hard not to.
Yeah, I think it's a game that has been specifically designed to be difficult.
Yeah.
Like Dark Souls. I mean, those types of games are more akin to a certain type of gamer. Not every game's going to appeal to every gamer, and just because you don't want to play it because it's too hard and you feel like you were ripped off, I don't think that really gives you the right to say, well, it needs an easier mode.
Right.
Well, it's just not your type of game.
Yeah,
I don't think.
exactly.
Who are you to dictate
Yeah.
how the developers
And I
make
just
their
think
games?
just because it has a cartoon aesthetic to it doesn't have to mean it has to be easy.
Right.
No, a lot of the bosses are like really fucked up.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah,
in
it's
terms
like-
of
yeah.
like what they
They're
look like.
creepy looking
Right.
too. Like it's
This is
old
not a
school,
kid's
but it's
game.
Creepy.
A
No,
half
it's
flying tricycle mixed with a woman that turns into like a moon bird thing.
Right.
and the storyline is, which I thought was hilarious. Like they do really well gambling, and then literally Satan comes up or the devil, they call him the devil.
Yeah.
He comes up and says, "Hey, would you like to wager your soul?" He's like, "Yeah, I've got a hot hand." Immediately loses, and then he says, "All right, well, we're gonna kill you, or you can go get the souls of all the other guys who also lost bets to me." So basically, in this game, you're an asshole going around killing people for the devil,
Yeah, this happened to me a lot. So if you guys actually just want to be the ones to go get everyone else, that'd be great.
and they're very good. They're like, "Alrighty."
And they're called Cuphead and Mugman.
They're awesome. I love them. The Funko is releasing vinyl figures
I
of.
saw those.
I'm getting those like day one
those
whenever
look
I can
so
get them.
good.
They're awesome.
Things are
So,
great.
what are they exactly?
They're cup people.
Guys
okay.
with cup heads.
I think it's just a reinterpretation of those old weird 20s cartoons.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it works so well because
You just don't care.
It has some mature
Just
themes to
goofy,
it, but
yeah.
this game has so many small things that I appreciate. Like the map is simple enough, but I like just having the map. I like transversing from area to
Yeah.
area. And I know the side-scrolling aspects were added later, but having those side-scrolling as a breather between boss battles helps me so much. Just to change gameplay up just a little bit, enough.
The side scrollers are the ones that make me rage.
Yeah.
And it's like, those are so hard. I'd rather
Yeah.
just fight the hardest boss in the game over and over.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they upset me. And the one complaint I have about the game, if I had a complaint, would be that the side scrollers, some of the enemies glitch out a little bit. So you'll see the one I'm thinking of is the tree level. It's like the second side scrolling level you can go to, or run and gun they call it. But there's these little rolling bugs in the beginning. And
Oh, God.
They'll sometimes they'll roll into a hole that you have to jump over, and they'll fall off the map. But sometimes they roll into the hole, they roll under, and they pop up back onto the map.
Really?
And they get you. Yeah.
I have not seen that.
Oh yeah, I've seen it a few times, and it just bugs me.
I've learned that some boss battles can take me up to an hour to learn their patterns and eventually beat it after repetition. And after taking an hour to beat a boss, and let's say the next boss you go right after that is the same thing. That's where that side scroller for me comes in, just like, okay, I just need a little bit of change of pace before I go back into this next boss battle.
That is really nice. Do you get that same sense of like satisfaction when they die and they have all of their death animations are so emphatic, and it's like
Right.
it comes out and says victory or something.
knockout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
knockout. It's dung dung.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's
It's
so good. Well, that because you don't, like you said earlier, these guys don't have health bars. You're just blasting them until they fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah. So we definitely love the game. There's every aspect of this game that we love, and for a $20 game, you're gonna get your $20 worth definitely at this game. If not for the gameplay, for the visuals alone, it's just an awesome looking game.
I love it.
Pick it up if you're.
It's great.
Yeah, you should have. You
Like,
should
I mean,
play
like
it.
like we said earlier, you're gonna get mad, but it won't be at the game because it's perfect. It's great.
All right, moving on to our next section, we actually have Jake returning from a party joining us now. Jake, welcome back.
Hello. Hi. Yeah, I just got back from my brother's wedding. It was fun. I got done a little bit earlier than I thought. So let's talk some stuff, some SNES Classic.
Yeah, that is where we're going next, guys. The Classic has been out a week now, and personally, I haven't had a chance to play it for a reason I'll talk about later, but some of you guys have had it for a week now. How's it treating you guys?
It's amazing.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
It's really good.
The
How-
interface is like flawless.
Is
the
it?
way you can flow between the different games and pick your different save states.
Yeah.
It's just really polished, really nice, very Nintendo.
No, the interface is very nice. I hate anytime you have to get out of a game, you have to hit the reset button
Oh, yeah.
on the actual console.
Oh, really?
I hate that because there's no button. Like we're fucking spoiled.
That's
right
awesome.
now. Like with wireless controllers, you can just like press a button to go back to the menu.
Oh,
nope,
yeah,
not
yeah.
on this thing. You got to go to the actual little SNES box, hit the reset button to change your game.
I've been playing with the system at my computer on my monitor. Cord is so short,
Yeah.
I can't play it at my TV.
The sad part is this controller, the width of the wires, the length of the wires is like 3 feet longer than the NES Classic.
Yikes.
I couldn't imagine playing with the NES Classic.
Yeah,
That's like
it's
Still
2
not
feet.
long enough though.
No, this is like 5.5 feet, but it's not long enough. I agree with you. Like I have to sit on the ground like a child staring at a giant ass flat screen. Like, oh, okay, these pixels look right. Yeah, okay, great.
So I have it at my computer desk, so I'm literally sitting on top of the system. It's like 2 inches away from me. So hitting the reset's kind of fun. Reminds me of the old days.
Yeah.
Right.
Hitting the reset on the old
Yeah.
system.
So,
But if you had to like get up and walk over to the
man,
system for each
that's
game, that
great.
would get annoying.
Yeah, you hear that? It's a feature, not a problem. Just he likes it.
so you guys got this day one. What's the first game you jumped to?
Super Metroid.
Did you?
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
And what'd you think?
Amazing.
Yeah, you never played it before.
I never
right?
played it before.
So
Yep.
thoughts, please dive in.
Oh, jeez. I've only beaten the first boss,
Okay.
which is the giant plant boss.
Right.
And the game's very, from like what I remember playing all the other old Metroid games, is very Metroid-y. It's difficult. I have not played an old school game on the Super Nintendo for a long time, so going back and trying to get all the buttons mastered and
Right.
getting the shoulder buttons for angling your shots and everything's been, it's kind of tough learning everything, but I was slowly getting better and better and
I assume it
having
looks
a lot
great.
of fun. It looks great. Yeah.
Awesome. Good to hear. Jake?
Looks really good. The first game that I played, it was just me and Zoe, my daughter. So I booted up Super Mario World.
Nice.
First thing I did. That's just your go-to.
My
you
man.
got to do that first. And it was amazing.
How's it feel jumping back to the Super Nintendo controller? Does it come back to you naturally, or did it take some readjusting since it's been a while?
Well, for me, it took a while to get used to the Metroid controls. Games that I've played in the past and familiar with the controls, it wasn't too bad.
That's good.
I played Super Castlevania before, so I was able to jump right into that pretty easily.
Yeah.
Played, Star Fox, jumped into that, Mario Kart. All those games felt pretty easy, but learning the new Metroid controls took me a while. But
I've never played with a new Super Nintendo controller before.
feels
So-
great, though, doesn't it?
Open it out of the box. The buttons are so crisp.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love it. It's just,
But-
it's really good.
Does it still like feel true to?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It really
Controls-
does. Yeah.
Controller feels
Oh,
great.
my God.
How do you guys got a chance to check out Star Fox 2?
Yep.
And
No.
Jesse, what's
Oh,
your
you haven't?
No,
Just
because in order to play Star Fox 2, you have to beat the first stage of Star Fox 1.
It takes 2 minutes.
I haven't even played it yet.
Okay. Hopping into Star Fox 2 is way different.
Is it?
Yeah, it's very difficult too.
So
'Cause
yeah, I was gonna say.
the game's completely different because you play from inside the cockpit,
Oh really?
so you're not behind at least the stages I played.
Huh?
I mean,
I didn't
maybe
know
there's. It's very different. I mean, because there's even sections to where you're in the cockpit and then you fly into the ship and then you're inside of it, killing the power core or whatever.
Sure.
And then you go into a ground mode. So now then you're walking around on some walker shooting lasers at different stuff.
Oh, does he have the chicken walker thing
Yeah.
in that game? Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Which
So-
I like the walker, but when
Yeah.
you're in the cockpit, because I couldn't get the controls right because I kept doing the opposite.
Yeah.
Because it's
That's gotta be
inverted.
weird.
It's inverted.
Yeah.
And I couldn't ever get used to it. So
no.
My
You
time to
can't change it?
shine.
Right?
I got so frustrated. I'm like, screw this game, and then I went back to Super Metroid
You
because
think
I
they-
just played it
Yeah,
for a little
th-
bit.
This was before controller settings. You're not changing
yeah,
that.
I hope you can change. It would make it much
Well, I
more
think that-
playable. if you
That
could.
sucks if you can't.
Yeah.
Definitely.
To explain, to go more on your point, Jesse, it's interesting to see people review Star Fox 2 20 years later.
Yeah.
Just because it's how do you review a game that's this old? But reviewers who tried saying this game there's probably a reason it didn't come out.
IGN gave it like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
it-
I can
Frame
see
rate
that.
is like 10 frames a second, which
Oh my
fucking
God.
sucks. Yeah.
yeah.
That's terrible.
Jittery as shit.
And just based off Jesse's experience, I guess the mechanics of this game aren't great. Like,
Well, inverted.
No, I did not
axis
have fun
alone- I don't
playing
know
this
anybody that
game.
uses that.
so you guys kind of hit on it, but obviously there's a lot of things we love about it. Did you guys get a chance to try out the new rewind function?
yes.
And how's that pan out?
It's fun. I feel bad doing it anytime I do it. Like,
Just because it's
we,
kind of
we were playing Kirby's Dream Course, and
Oh, God.
I would miss a hole, and I'm like, nope, can't do that. I'm going back. Sorry. And I would go back to before I went, like, okay, I need to put a little less
Yeah.
oomph in this hole.
I feel like it'd be a lose-lose.
It's
So if-
super cheap.
If you're playing with someone else, you're like, oh, I'm going to rewind this. Like, oh, come on, you're being a bitch. Quit. Just
Yeah.
accept your fault. And then if
Exactly.
you're playing by yourself, it's like, I just cheated myself.
Yeah, no, I would miss and then rewind and then make it, and then my wife would be pissed because she would miss and then rewind it and then miss.
There you go.
No, she hated it.
Can you rewind as much as you want?
There's like
Yes.
a minute gap to where you
Okay.
can do it. Yeah.
Oh,
And how far back can you rewind? I haven't tried it myself yet.
I think you can rewind a minute at a time, but you can only keep like a minute at a time. Yeah,
That's pretty great.
Do you feel
Yeah,
it's
that's crazy.
This is just an abstract thought, but do you guys feel like it betrays gamers' roots by having that function?
I don't
No.
care. Whatever.
Yeah.
We live in 2017 now, so if you want to put any extras that
It's-
you need
well,
to.
based off the collections we've seen so far, it'd be weird not to have a replay function on a classic collection like this. Based off what other things we've seen, like the Saturday Morning Cartoon collection.
And this machine was built for, the casual people to go back and relive the nostalgia.
Right.
It's not created for hardcore gamers.
Yeah.
I mean, those hardcore people have already been playing these games on their
Right.
systems like us.
We're not
So,
we're not 12-year-olds with no time or nothing to do in our
Yeah.
lives
Yeah.
besides games.
I think
So.
the part of nostalgia you like is playing through the levels. The part you don't like is losing over and over
Yeah.
and being frustrated. So I think it's nice that they put that in. There's
Yeah.
no reason
Oh,
not
yeah.
to.
What some functions do you guys want to see improved upon? Obviously, the cord.
obviously the cord. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, if they even like double it again, it would be less than 10 feet.
You know what wouldn't need a long controller? Game Boy Classic.
I need a handheld.
Game
that'd-
Boy
that'd be
Classic
cool.
would be sweet.
I would cream my jeans over that.
Yeah, that would
It'd
be-
be awesome.
That'd be the best.
I'd want
Yeah.
a Game Boy Advance Classic, I think.
There's a lot of good Game Boy games that have got lost.
Yeah. Should we go
No-
around the table?
No mini. I
Do
want
this?
a big. I want the big freaking like
Do it again?
brick Game Boy.
Oh,
that would
God.
be sweet.
Alright,
Would
Game
you
Boy
guys
Color.
want the green screen, or would you want the? I kind of want the green screen.
It's got to be
I would love
backlit,
it.
though.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
guess is they would
backlight.
have different filters.
Yeah.
Mm,
This thing would
that would
totally
be
have
sweet.
that, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's do this. We'll get one game.
I got
One
it.
game?
One
I
game
got a
out,
game.
out of
got
your,
it.
out of your Game Boy.
I know what your game
and we're
is.
going to add.
No, you don't.
And then we're going to add.
That's right.
And then we're going to do Game Boy Color one game around the table.
Or pinball.
God.
Okay? So, Jake, why don't you go ahead and kick us off for Game Boy?
Game Boy Classic.
Yes, Game Boy Classic.
Andy guessed it. It's Super Mario Land 2. Six golden coins.
I heard you
It's
gushing
amazing.
about it on one of the
That
other
game
ones.
is so good.
Yep.
Like I said, one of my top 5 Mario platformers of all time.
Jesse?
It's got to be a Pokemon game. You got to go Pokemon Yellow. The one with Pikachu.
Yellow is probably the best
Yeah,
version
it's
of
yellow.
those.
You got Pikachu who follows you around the whole time.
Did they do Link's Awakening on the
Yes, they did.
SNES?
Have you played that game?
Oh, I played it on the original SNES.
The Game Boy.
No,
the
Link's
Link's
Awakening is a
original
Game Boy
Link's
game.
Awakening is Game Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
See,
Link's yeah.
No, I played that game on the Game Boy Player for Super Nintendo. And
Link's
that game is
Awakening is
amazing.
awesome.
That game takes stuff from the entire like Nintendo Kingdom and throws it in like a Zelda world.
Yeah,
it's
there's
so weird.
Yeah.
There's Kirby enemies.
There's
in
chain
one of
chomps
the,
all over the
yeah.
place. Link's
Link's Awakening
Awakening is really good.
If that's your
Especially
choice.
Link's Awakening DX That's
Yeah,
Yeah, they
that
added the
game is
color
amazing.
dungeon. Yeah,
Really
that's the one
good.
I played. It was
I
awesome.
thought-
Yeah.
You took mine.
Is that
Would
your
you pick
choice?
DX then?
It's either that or Super. I'll go with that. But my other choice would have been Super Mario Land.
The first one.
Yeah.
They would probably
That game's
put
weird
both
as
in.
fuck.
It's
Yeah, I know.
It was a launch game for
Yeah.
Game Boy.
It's
and
not
it
as good
has,
as 2.
Yeah,
No, not even close. But they would put them both on there, I'm sure.
I would
Yeah.
think so.
Brent, you chose Link's Awakening.
Mhm.
All right, Andy. He
So-
took your game.
Brent stole mine, but I would put, because they're hard to get your hands on, the Mega Man games that were on Game Boy.
Oh, sure.
Which they're not as good as the NES ones, but they're rare. I
They're
think
different. They're the
yeah.
same names, but they're different.
Yeah, they're called Mega Man 1, 2, and 3, but they have it's like I think it's 4 bosses, and they're all different bosses, and then
They made Mega Man 5 for Game Boy, but it's different than Mega
Yeah.
Man 5 for NES.
Yeah,
and
it's
that
super
game,
weird.
That game is so good.
and it's better than the NES one, I believe. Like if you ask a reviewer,
Mega Man 5
But
for
when you get
NES.
to 5, yeah.
Mega Man 5 for NES isn't that great, but
No.
for Game Boy, it's surprisingly fantastic.
yeah. So I'd put a compilation of the Mega Man
Sure.
Game Boy games on there.
Just do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick the one I recently picked up was just golf, a sports game.
Oh yeah.
All right, so can we list one more time
I
around
got
the
it.
table? Game
I
Boy,
got it right now.
Game Boy Color
game.
Game Boy
Yep.
Color. Go ahead, Jake.
Wario Land 3. It's a really cool, unique, fun game. Wario Land 3 is my choice for Game Boy Color.
Jesse.
Don't do it.
Moving on.
Don't take
moving
mine.
on to
Pokemon the card game.
no, but I am going to stick to the same genre. I would probably go Pokemon Gold or
Okay.
Pokemon Silver.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
One of those two, because those
Yeah.
were probably one of the best Game Boy or Pokemon games ever.
You do.
So
have
you
to
got to
catch
throw
them
one
all.
of those on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brent.
Twofer. Zelda, Oracle of Ages and Oracle of
Oh
Seasons.
Jesus,
Oh,
those
man.
are garbage.
You took mine. You took
No.
mine.
Link's Awakening is good, but
Yeah.
Oracle of Ages and Seasons
Oh,
are
no.
straight up trash.
They have
I
a
love those
special
games.
place in my
Straight up trash.
I love those games.
I'm on my phone frantically looking like, what the fuck came out on Game Boy Color? I have no idea.
See, this is all I had as a kid.
I'm trying to think of games that were on the Game Boy Color and
Come
not the
on,
Game Boy.
people.
I'm having some
There was,
issues because I
Mario
never
Brothers
had a color.
Deluxe on Game Boy Color. That was really
It
good.
sure was.
That was a really good game.
Now that I'm going through a list and I remember playing these on Game Boy Color, there was a Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 compilation. I think it was 1, 2, and 3 actually, and it's really good playing those games. And they changed it so they took out a lot of the crappy grinding from the NES version, and they scaled. I think they actually added the Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 to make one game. So it was like a continuous quest. It's really good.
That makes sense because Dragon Warrior has a huge following, so I could definitely
Yeah.
see that. So jumping back to the Super Nintendo Entertainment System Classic,
Jesus, overcompensate much.
supply and demand. We were told it wouldn't be an issue, and it's not really. We're not deep enough into the season to know if it's going to be an issue or not. But demand or supply has been an issue because Walmart, for me, has yet to deliver on my Super Nintendo, my Classic.
I'm not surprised, but I'm sad for you.
Yeah. And I mean, I imported the UK one just because I actually like the color scheme better. And that's naturally going to take a little bit longer. But you have Amazon in America not fulfilling orders.
Right. I heard that.
Yeah, I heard that too. I would be so pissed.
Yeah, over 20,000 people who are waiting. Guaranteed
Wow.
day one systems are not getting them until, like, the latest I
Yeah.
heard was October 11th.
I've heard Target
Target
shit
too,
the
yeah.
bed.
Oh, really?
Amazon shit the bed.
That's not good.
That's awful.
That's crazy. You
Target,
think
at
it's
least-
Nintendo's fault though for not fulfilling those
don't know.
orders?
I have no idea. I don't
Yeah.
know who to blame.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Because they have a precedent of doing this almost everything they
Right.
release now.
Like
so.
Amazon's actually pretty good at what.
Well,
Yeah.
no, that's my thing, though. Amazon is usually really good, but when it comes to Nintendo products, Amazon drops the ball
Right,
continuously.
but I don't think that's their fault. Like, why would they drop the ball now?
I don't know. I pre-ordered Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on Switch from Amazon. It took about 5 days to get to me
That's absurd.
when I pre-ordered it.
And it has to be some
I
kind.
hate that. I'm never going to pre-order another.
See, I
Nintendo
pre-ordered
game again.
Rapids off Amazon. That came to me, boom,
Well, that's good.
the day it came out.
But here's the thing, though. I think that's coming from Ubisoft, which is Europe, and I'm not sure if it's a Nintendo of Japan kind of thing, or if it's this international
knows?
travels. But these Amazon Nintendo seem to have logistic issues. Obviously, Target and Nintendo right now are having some logistic issues. But what the heck's going on with Nintendo
feel-
and logistics?
Either way, though, like if it's like a transportation thing or whatever it is, like legal reasons, like they've had plenty of time to figure this shit out. Like plan ahead to make sure everything gets shipped
Yeah, you
on
would
time.
definitely think so.
Right.
So let's move on to a brighter
Pity
subject. On a standard podcast, we would play some trivia, but we're going to play a different game tonight. It's going to play a game. It's going to be a team effort.
What?
Yep, we're going to change it up tonight.
Oh no.
So we have a table. We're going to be a team together. We're each going to tackle a letter of the alphabet by naming a game
On any system?
on any system.
Okay.
You want to kick it off, Jake, with A?
I have an A.
Let's do it.
Arkanoid.
B, Battlefield?
Okay.
Call of Duty.
Whatever. Who cares?
That's it. You're fine.
Hey, it matters.
Why? No one else can say a Call of Duty game.
World at War. the best
Thank
one.
you, World of War. Thank you. God, I couldn't think of it.
Danganronpa.
Nice.
Aragon.
Aragon!
That's a movie.
It's a game,
It's a
too.
game, too, yeah.
Damn it.
It's an awful game.
Final Fantasy 3.
G?
Yep.
Oh. God of War.
Mm-hmm.
F.
Oh,
no, H. Sorry.
wait,
Alphabet much?
H.
Alphabet mode.
Horizon. Oh, wait, Zero Dawn Horizon?
No.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, Horizon Zero.
Horizon
I-
colon
no,
I
Zero
need
Dawn.
to be specific.
No, I thought it was like, am I mixing this up?
Give me the full title, please.
Go with Ikaruga.
Ikaruga?
Yeah, Ikaruga. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh, whatever.
Yeah. J. Why am I drawing a blank?
J?
Hang on. Jenga,
yeah.
Jenga on Wii.
Jenga?
I'm glad I
thought
spent
you were gonna go
so much
Jeopardy.
time making James Bond sounds. You'd Jenga.
It's actually
Oh, I thought you were doing Just
that
Cause.
You're
actually,
doing Joust.
that'd actually be 00.
There's so many games.
That'd actually be 007. Not
Any James Bond.
007's a technical name. It starts with 007.
I'm pretty sure it's James Bond 007. Nightfire.
No.
I'm
It's
pretty
007
sure.
Nightfire.
You could go James
Yeah.
Pond. Super Nintendo.
James
Pretty gross.
Pond.
Yep, James Pond.
Oof, gross.
I'm going to prove you wrong now because I know it's right.
All right, so what were we on? K?
K, and I'm trying to think of a K. I'm struggling.
I got one.
Are
Are we helping or no?
If he can't find
You know that one?
Oh, Durder.
Yeah.
Durder.
No, no.
Yeah.
I'm doing a tone for you.
Oh, come on.
You can't think of a
K? Think
Oh.
very recent.
Oh,
Any Kirby game? I mean, come on.
Or Knack 2.
yep. Kirby's Dream Course.
Kirby
Not
or
oral
Knack.
sex.
Those are your choices.
I was
people.
doing Kid Icarus, so you don't think I'm fucking crazy.
Oh, no, I know that
yeah.
song. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, can I say one that starts with the, but use the next word? Or
Yeah, that does not count.
Okay, so Last of Us.
There you go.
Very good.
M.
I know.
Any.
Yeah, I know. I want to pick a good one.
Just pick any M game.
I know. All right, we'll just do Metroid, Super Metroid.
Yeah, there you go.
That's actually
Whoa,
that's
not
a-
Super
That's
Metroid.
S,
You
that's
can't do
S.
that.
Oh, yeah.
It starts with an
All right,
S.
Metroid Prime.
Or NES?
Metroid Prime.
You're
There you
done.
go, bud.
You're done. No more heroes.
Whoa.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Okami.
Parodius.
Oh, man.
Q, bud. I got a Q.
Hubert.
Oh,
There you
nice.
go, bud.
What'd you do? Q.
You have R.
Red Dead Redemption.
Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Team Fortress.
There you go. Ultra 4.
Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3.
V?
You got V, right?
I don't know how
V.
I knew that from what you said.
I've had a lot to drink at the wedding, so who knows what I'm thinking.
Do you guys have Vs?
I'm thinking.
V?
Yeah. Don't tell me if you have one, but
I haven't even tried to
I can't think of one.
Is
I
it
don't think it starts with
Valkyrie
V.
Chronicles a game?
Valkyria.
Valkyria.
Valkyria,
Chronicles,
yeah.
Yep. There you go.
We did it as
There's
a
your
team.
help.
Yeah. That's a tough letter.
World of Warcraft.
W. X.
Xenoblade Chronicles.
A Y game.
Yo Noid, the Dominoes game.
That's what it is. Yo, bitch.
Yokai Watch.
There
I
you
was
go.
going to say Yakuza.
Z.
There's a big one out there.
There's a big one out there.
Yeah. Z.
I can think of one.
I can't think of any. Z.
Find one.
Assassin's Creed.
Nope. Help.
Isn't
Why
it a
not just
gold
Zelda?
cartridge?
Zombie
Legends of
U.
Zelda.
Isn't there a,
Zombie.
Yeah.
isn't there just a Zelda game? Like
I
the
don't
first
think-
Zelda?
I don't think there's
I
anything.
think it's
called
all
Zelda.
the Legend of Zelda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be out with Zombie U. Fuck that. I'm okay.
And that's
Zombie
it.
U.
We got it through, guys. That was the gaming alphabet. All right. That being said, that has been episode 12 of Super Media All Stars. You can find us on Facebook at Super Media All Stars. You can find us on Twitter as SMAS Pod. You can find us on Instagram at Super Media All Stars. Please, 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 please like and subscribe to all our social media outlets, including YouTube. We appreciate your views, subscribes, and feedback. If you would like to play or follow me personally, you can follow me on Xbox as Cyjohn. You can find me as PlayStation as jharris3571.
You can find me on PlayStation or Microsoft at Lumberjake007, but follow me on Instagram at SteelbookObsessed. Once I get through with all my movies, I have quite a few game steelbooks.
You can follow me on PlayStation or join me on a friend PlayStation at Sweatman20012. PC, Hugsy. Other than that, not much.
Only on Steam, Bang Dang.
You can find my failed Let's Play channel at Stupid Video Bros on YouTube. Should subscribe to us. We might come out with something in the
you
next.
said something this time. Good job.
In the next 2 years, we're definitely planning on releasing something at some point.
Gonna be epic.
So be excited.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good things to look forward to from us. We got the Blade Runner review coming up next week from us, so we all saw that. We're super excited to show you that. We'll also doing an unboxing of the European Super Nintendo Enix Classic, so look forward to that. I ordered the IGN gaming box, so that'll be coming from the UK as
Get
well.
ready. Only 800.
Yep.
And he's got one of them. So
it'll be a limited run. We'll see if there's anything cool in that box. I'm a big follower of IGN. I like a lot of stuff they do, so I was hoping to get some cool stuff out of this box. So stay forward to all that stuff. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. But till then, this has been Super Media All Stars. We will see you next time.
See ya.
Bye. Merry marriage, Travis.
Game over, man. Game over.
Bye bye.
I am out of here.